So Joanne, could you just introduce yourself please and tell us about your role at Junction 42?
Yeah, my name's Joanne O'Connor and I'm the founder and director of Junction 42.
And can you tell us more about Junction 42 and its vision? What are you here to do?
Well, we exist to see the lives of offenders and their communities visibly transformed by the hope of the gospel. And that sounds like a bit of a strap line, but really we kind of understood that prisoners aren't just individuals, but they're interconnected and even intergenerationally within their families, within their communities. And so we understood that faith is something that can bring hope and transformation to people's lives. So I think rehabilitation is really important because we've got to understand that it's not just about punishing someone for what they've done. But if someone's a repeat offender, if people are like, the reoffending rate in this country is horrendous, then we've got to understand that there's more than just like crime and having a punishment for a crime. There are very complex reasons around criminology. And I guess the idea of rehabilitation is so important because not only are you restoring an individual into purpose and stopping them from committing crime, you're then providing a father back to the family, or you're providing a role model back to the youth, because these things are intergenerational. And so whenever you meet a man, quite often he will say, well, my father was in prison, or I was brought up in like with an addict, and so we've got to understand that this isn't just about stopping individuals from committing crimes. This is about changing society by sort of bringing around, rehabilitation is about transformation, but then that transforms families and then communities.
Can you tell us about the specific support Junction 42 provides?
So Junction 42 operates in three main areas. So one is creative engagement. So we understand that engaging with people with creative forms has actually got a disproportional effect, especially people who have maybe not been that successful in the normal education structure. For some reason, using creativity and starting there creates a lot of space for positive affirmation. We operate in faith, which is where we'd support chaplains, doing things that are more than just statutory duties, like reaching out to whole prisons. And then in the community, we would train local churches on how to host people who've come to faith from a very extreme background and what that looks like to work that out in the community. And then obviously whenever people get out, we help them through the gate and provide mentorship, employability support. So the idea that as people progress in life, we're not just in prison. You can do so much work in prison, but if someone's homeless on day of release, it can lead to other things. So I think it's vital to sort of provide that continuation of care through the systems, really.
In the entrance to Junction 42, and we're walking in and we're seeing a wall beautifully decorated with so many photographs. Can you just tell me a little bit about some, not exactly the stories of people, but just what was the inspiration behind creating this wall and what does it mean for people when they're coming in?
Yeah, I think what's interesting is that programs don't really change lives, but relationships do. And I guess, these are so many memories of things that we've done with people that are like family, and whether it's someone's birthday or whether it's someone's, a baby's christening or a wedding. And I guess we encapsulate those moments and it's like, this is what it looks like. Like, what does it look like if you don't have a family to feel like you belong? And so much of what we believe is that belonging is really important to people. So what we've got here is sort of events and things that we've done together almost as a community. That's not around a family dinner table, but it's certainly on having experiences together, whether that's a fun run or whether that's on a mission trip or celebrating someone's birthday.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the
And I think that big one by your head really talks about community for you, doesn't it? Just that group of people all interacting, and obviously had a day out somewhere.
Yeah, well, that was a residential weekend. That was the weekend away that we had. And I think it's about, Junction 42 isn't about us providing support to individuals. It's understanding that when people have lived experience, they know how to support each other. And so a lot of what we do is facilitate spaces where peers can support other peers. Like we've just heard Adam and Wayne saying they were both drugs workers and listeners in prison because they know what it is to have suicidal thoughts. They know what it is to have drug issues. And so when someone's come through that, they're the best person to help someone else through it quite often. And so that's why a lot of these are group work things. We just provide these safe spaces for people to come together and provide that support.
Brilliant.